wish we got the sound of that on the podcast.
I haven't opened mine.
It sounded like a goblin.
All right, you want
A what?
a
fucking
goblin?
what?
I'll be honest, I drank before I came here.
Oh, you
Nice. Pre-gaming.
I drank some grappa at Elizabeth's Pizza.
You dirty little goblin.
Did you have some wine at Elizabeth Pizza?
No, grappa.
Grappa? What's grappa? I've never heard of
It's
grappa.
wine.
It's no, it's not wine. It's a neutral spirit.
It's basically wine.
It is grape liquor.
Okay. Yeah,
It's Italian wine, okay?
Why do you keep saying that? It's not wine.
It's wine.
Is it? I mean,
You're a wino. That's what you are.
what defines wine? Is it just grapes? Like, is that what? Like,
No, you just complain a lot.
You need to go to sommelier, Sam.
dude,
Can you define wine?
What's wine?
It's
Grapes?
just grapes.
I mean, it's like fermented grapes.
Yeah,
but
yeah. You step on them first.
well, I guess
And then you fall into the little vat.
That's the first viral video I ever saw.
That was the first viral video ever made.
It happened right here in North Carolina.
really?
Nah,
Dang.
I
Right
think
here in Greensboro.
Oh yeah.
that woman got so injured she punctured a lung.
No, she didn't.
She did, and she was ridiculed by her coworkers so much that
sounded
she
like an idiot.
She had to quit her job.
Oh gosh.
So
I mean, she was a newscaster.
one
You
of the
kinda have to
very
after that.
first memes just ruined this woman's life. All for our enjoyment. We watched it at youth group.
Appropriate.
Yeah.
Laugh for Jesus.
All right, what are we drinking, Wes?
We didn't introduce ourselves, Sam.
Oh well, yeah. This is the BBB podcast.
Bing bong. This is the BBB podcast.
This is the Bing Bong Bing podcast.
Coney Island legend. Fuck your life.
We're with Joe Byron over here.
Joe Byron.
It's the Hot Hat Holidays. Respectfully.
Yo, take me to dinner first.
Oh,
Bong.
man. Yeah, so I'm Wesley.
I'm saying,
Master Wesley, also known as Betty.
Betty.
I'm not calling you that.
You're going to call me Betty.
Master
Ooh.
Betty.
Podcast.
And I'm Nick Zamboni.
Yes.
And this is the BBB podcast. And
It is.
we're going to talk about a beer. What beer are we talking about?
We are drinking Nitro Creme Brulee from the Blackwater series from Southern Tier Brewing Company.
It's in New York.
Oh. Not local.
Really? It's
Not
from the
local.
Fresh Market.
Oh yeah, super local.
It's super local.
Do they not do local stuff?
Oh, they do, but they also have other stuff too.
They're from New York.
Oh, Coney Island?
Coney Island. Yeah, this is the BBB Beer Bing Bong podcast.
Ooh, bing bong.
So
So this is an Imperial Milk Stout.
Mommy milk or stout.
It is brewed with vanilla beans and other natural flavor has been added. It says to...
Does not say to shake
don't
it.
shake it up.
Yeah, don't shake it up. I thought you were supposed to. It does say to pour it
it'll
into your
explode.
favorite glass or just drink from the can. It is black. It is creamy and
Blackwater.
Why'd you
heavy.
laugh there?
It says
It has-
Blackwater series on it.
A moderate bitterness. Sorry, I am lit right now. And they're 9.6 fluid ounces. It's made with lactose sugar, so if you're a lactose intolerant, do not drink this.
True.
Ooh.
Had a little bit
And-
of the sound.
Yeah, when he said
What
it,
is that noise?
it's a nitro capsule because it's brewed.
Sorry
with,
if that scared you.
yeah, so like you've ever had nitro cold brew coffee,
It smells
nitrogen
strong.
dioxide when it's brewed leaves a nice silky smooth finish in beverages. It's a little denser of a carbonation than carbon dioxide, but it does not stay dissolved as long. So a lot of
sense.
companies will add nitro capsules, notably Guinness, to keep their canned beers smooth and velvety long after they've been brewed. So I assume that's what that extra
Smooth
fizzle was
velvety,
when you
just
open
like your voice.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, you're very silky voice.
Woo, baby.
It's a creme brulee if I've ever heard one.
Okay, guys, calm down. Yeah, and just like my voice, this beer is 10% alcohol, which makes it rather syrupy sweet. And we've been drinking a lot of higher strength beers, which
I
sounds
prefer
awesome.
them.
I don't like them, man. I
like
just,
Yeah, me too.
Light me up.
I mean,
nah, I'd rather just drink liquor if I'm going that high.
true. I mean, I do really like light beers. Like, for me, it's like fun that happen. Like 10%. Like this is pretty heavy.
I don't
So,
want to review a Coors Light.
Although I
Dude.
did drink soju the other day. That stuff is legit.
I haven't had soju.
I should have bought it. I got some from Super G Mart, and then
So-
I drank it when we canceled the podcast.
When did we do that? Cancel the podcast.
Never mind.
You guys got something to tell me?
No, I am with you on the light beer, Sam. But this was I thought this would be a good one for the winter times.
It's appropriate. So
It is. It was either that or some Asian beer.
Let's
for
review
kung
it
fu stuff.
This tastes
deeper in the
like
podcast.
this tastes like the Monster coffee energy drinks
Whoa.
at the gas station, which is not a criticism. I used to drink those things all the time. I don't anymore
Never had one.
Highly addictive.
because yes, but also bad for your heart.
Oh yeah.
So it actually tastes pretty good. I can like smell the alcohol, which obviously it's 10%, so you're gonna feel that. It's pretty decent. Like my first sip was like a shock to the system, but now it's like smooth sailing. I'm kind of into it.
I feel like I'm getting a different beer the more I drink. Like it had
It's
this
got
weird,
layers,
Yeah.
like an onion.
Well,
which,
that is like a milk stout, right? Like it's got the nice head on the top.
Mm.
not
good
in
head.
not a can unless you shook it up before we got here.
We know he did.
Definitely shook it up.
I'm gonna give this. What is our rating system for
Or
the beers?
tabs.
Tabs? How many out of how
At
many?
5 tabs.
5 tabs. I'm gonna give this Bing Bong out of 5 tabs.
Bing bong.
That's 5 out of 5 tabs.
Wow.
Wow, really?
Wow.
This is a 5 out of 5
Yeah,
for you?
It's pretty good.
Oh my god,
I hate.
that's a perfect score.
I hate stouts.
You hate
So the fact.
Wow.
So the fact that I really like this, it like earns a bonus point. So I would normally grade this
Wow.
at a 4.
That's high praise.
Let
I'm
me,
glad I brought it.
Like I would drink this stout consistently.
I do.
What do you like about it?
Yeah, go for it.
It's not like it doesn't feel like I'm drinking bread.
Yeah.
And like every stout I've ever drank feels like I'm drinking a loaf of bread, and I'm not into that. This actually is like creme brulee, which is the flavor, but it's like it's really smooth. It's not too powerful in the like hoppiness or like I don't know anything about beer, guys.
I don't think
but
stout
it's-
has hops.
Yeah, it's nice. I like
mean, all beers have hops in them because that's it's just like it's I don't know the process.
What? Not all beers have hops.
I'm like pretty sure they do.
Not all beers have hops.
it. Look it up.
We're a beer podcast. We don't know this.
We're not a beer.
We're
podcast.
rookies.
We're 1/3 a beer podcast.
We're like
2/3
a
Bing Bong.
10th beer podcast.
A 10th. All right, fair enough.
We have an associate's degree in podcasts. We're allowed to make mistakes.
I love that. I think I'm probably gonna give my review a little later because I'm still like trying to get a gauge for it.
All right, I'll review it now. Well, this has a Ball logo on it, like Ball Mason Jar Company.
Where are you seeing
I don't
that?
see
It's
that
on the
at all.
recycling portion. When I was looking for instructions on whether we were supposed to shake it up or not. Yeah. So my review, I like it a lot. I do like stouts a little more. I think creme brulee is a delicious flavor. I do think this one is a little too sweet. Which kind of holds it back for me. I do like your analysis, Nick, where, yeah, for a stout, for a heavy beer, it doesn't taste super heavy. And I think part of that is because it is higher alcohol. So you feel like you're getting more bang for your buck. You're not dicking around with empty calories as much. You're just getting straight to the good stuff. And also tons of flavor. Super
Yeah.
sweet, super milky. Like it does taste like a nice solid. And then you got that smooth nitro-iness. So it does taste more like a dessert beer, but not like crazy sweet, like a port wine or something like that. But for my taste, I think this is still too sweet to be a tabletop drinkable beer. This would be like something to polish off the night with. So
Yeah.
I would give it a 3 out of 5.
It's definitely. I definitely agree. It's not like a intense flavor like most stouts or porters are like you just punch in the face with like either they taste like like vanilla syrup or they taste like like you said like bread. But it's definitely good, but I don't know how good of it. Last podcast, I don't know if you asked this during the podcast or before the podcast, but Wes, you asked us a great question. It's like our audience to get to know us, and we love to get to know our audience. You asked
Before they get to know us, I do have to make a public apology. I meant to start with this.
No, you don't get to apologize first.
No, I need to because one of our dearest listeners, who I will not name, was unfortunately right. One out of 20 times they said something, and I did not acknowledge him being correct.
What
and
a backhanded
Yeah,
it was
apology.
that was
very
awful.
sad. No, it's not. Okay, first off, I'm never wrong, and if I am, it's your duty to prove it.
He said
All right?
duty.
Oh gosh.
Because, and if that's not true, how come our true God King president?
Joe Byron.
Joe Biden.
No, the real one. He made his whole career off that, and he's one of the most loved people of all time.
Who are you talking about?
Oh my God! You know what? I'm not going to talk to you liberals anymore.
You talking about Triceratops?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, person who I am apologizing to. I will not call you out on you being wrong anymore.
All right.
We'll come back to that. We got a whole segment for him.
But you asked us last podcast what our favorite DLC, which is a great question. And yeah, what's y'all's favorite DLC?
DLC is downloadable content for video games, formerly known as expansion packs.
True. Which they had DLCs back in like the original Xbox days. Like
They had DLCs that came out on discs in like the 90s.
Oh yeah, I mean like Age of Empires had DLC and stuff, so it's been around, but it's definitely more of a thing nowadays, and it's more of an expensive thing nowadays than it used to be.
Yeah, good point. It's definitely gotten smaller and more micro transactional. I'll start since I asked. I never got DLC or expansion packs as a kid. I had this weird philosophy that if I was buying a game for $60 and it's a finished product, that when I play it, it should be a complete experience on its own. So
Yeah, that's so weird that you think that.
I know. It's especially weird nowadays when that's just like the tried and true method. But also I thought it was odd to buy like extra content for something I thought was a standalone experience, even though, especially back in the day, like expansion packs would add like a whole new element. And then DLCs have definitely changed as time's gone on. But some of the best DLC I've had the privilege of playing, and it gave me a whole nother look at some of my favorite titles, are like all the Fallout DLCs. All of Fallout 3s were really good, and New Vegas. I didn't play any of Fallout 4s because the base game wasn't that good, and I didn't think extra content was going to save it. But also, by the time those things came around, I got into the true world of DLC, which is user-made modding, which has been just a wonderful new world for me.
It's free for the most part.
And it is mostly free. And it's also, you get to pick and choose. It's like you get to put the toppings on your pizza kind of thing. It's like eating cheese pizza your whole life, and it's your favorite food, and all of a sudden you discover pepperoni and you don't got to pay for it. But other good DLCs, actually, this might be the only ones for me. The Ballad of Gay Tony for GTA 4 might be one of the best DLCs of all time. I played it, and it is fantastic.
I remember watching my friend Trevor play that, and I watched play most of GTA 4, and then he got that DLC, and like it was, I don't really remember what specifically was in it, but I just remember like, yeah, I mean, also most of Grand Theft Auto's DLC is pretty good, even for the new one, GTA 5, which they're still putting out DLC for that game.
But never any single player DLC, which is what the fans wanted.
True.
That doesn't make the money though.
It doesn't. But yeah, what about you, Nick? Do you know? Did you get to download things as a child?
I sure did, but
I mean, did you download games as a child? I should clarify. Little pervert.
My favorite DLC had to be the horse armor from Oblivion. The paid.
Ooh.
I'm just kidding. That was like the first.
That was the
paid-
first DLC outrage I think that
Yeah.
people had.
Yeah. Definitely not that.
People were freaking out that, wow, could you imagine paying money for a cosmetic
Was
item?
it
my
like, was it like
gosh,
$20
it's
for horse
crazy.
armor?
I think it was only
that?
like $2.99.
Oh, okay. Well,
Still.
the
just the
slippery
idea-
slope began that day.
The idea that someone would pay for something that added no gameplay value would just boggle nerds everywhere. And then not even 10 years later, everyone's shelling out.
I'm kind of on the same train as you, Wes. I am someone who purchases DLCs regularly for games that I really like. However, I am a big believer that I shouldn't have to pay extra for extra content for a game that is said to be complete. But what a lot of things that developers are doing now is they're releasing a game and then they're saying, okay, this is the finished product. We want to add to it. There is going to be DLC. And I appreciate when companies say that.
Right.
But there are lots of game developers that don't actually finish the game and still say that.
Yeah.
Like Cyberpunk is a great example of just like not really finishing the game and then being like, well, we'll patch all that eventually, but then we'll also release DLC and we'll officially fix all that stuff and have it all nice and neat when we release DLC. But you got to pay for that.
Well, a lot of it, I mean, like, so like the video game life cycle is extended a lot longer than it used to be.
Yeah. Hearts of Iron is a good example of that, where they just
That
continue.
game will never die.
They'll just continue making it and reinventing it.
Yeah.
Like it's a completely different game. I've like literally been unable to play it because I am now bad again. But to answer the question, my favorite DLC is probably Blood Moon DLC for Morrowind.
Whoa, that is old.
It is old, but like that was probably the first DLC I actually purchased. Or did I purchase it or was it free? I can't remember, but that was probably the first DLC that I downloaded.
When did that come out?
Morrowind?
When
Like
did Morrowind come out?
Well, no, Morrowind came out.
7 maybe?
No, that's when
2000.
Oblivion came out.
Oh, so Morrowind was on original Xbox?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Morrowind's super old.
Like
Okay. I never played it,
2001
so-
or 3.
Yeah.
But I would imagine the DLC came out like 04, 05. But I'm just imagining
It had
trying
to
to
have been.
download something at that time.
It had to have been a disc. I honestly
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
I honestly don't remember.
My family barely had a computer.
I don't remember how I got it, but I remember when I got the Blood Moon DLC, it was like a completely new game, and like you go to a new area, you get all this new stuff.
Yeah, that's what I.
It was basically another game.
That's
like
what I liked about.
Almost a completely
Hmm.
finished product, separate from Morrowind. I mean, it was crazy the amount of content that you got
Yeah,
from that DLC.
that's what I like. That's now that you mentioned that, that's exactly why I like the Fallout DLCs, because the
It-
original game was its own thing.
It
but
had
then
to have been like
the
at
extra
least,
ones were their own little stories.
It had to have been at least like 20 more hours of gameplay,
Woo,
at least
sheesh.
I feel
that
like
I got out of it.
a lot of RPG games do that. Like you got Dragon Age. Like
Sam said doo doo.
like Dragon Age 1 had
On
the
another
DLC
level
for it was a bunch of it's like 4 or 5 DLC, but they put them all together and released the Ultimate Edition, which basically had like a new game, and that was like I feel like kind of like the early Xbox 360 days were like very good as far as like RPG DLC.
Dragon Age is such a solid franchise.
Mm-hmm.
It still is.
Oh yeah, I mean they made Inquisition, which I don't know if they're making Dragon Age 4, but I hope they are because that'd be awesome, and hopefully BioWare doesn't mess it up. But my favorite DLC is from Gears of War 3.
Oh,
What a great game.
I haven't played any of the Gears games.
Oh
so
man,
good.
they're so good.
I don't know.
Some of my favorite multiplayer games, but it's
Too violent for me.
it's very violent. But it's the Horde Command Pack, which actually I did not like Horde at all, which is basically like you play against like waves of enemies. But the reason I like this because it had like a specific map that had this this mech that you can operate. So like it's like Gears of War, and then you'd have like a Gundam basically that you can get in and just mow down
Love
bad guys. And that was Rustlong, which is a great map. And then they had this guy, this skin called Big Rig Dizzy. And it's just like it's just like this
What in the
trucker.
world?
Yeah, this trucker guy basically like who just say like quirky one-liners. I tried to look up some, but I couldn't find any that were funny. But
Dude, the guys from Gears of War just look like grubs that took steroids to me.
yeah,
Yeah.
they don't have any necks. They're just like a head on this like
They're just like-
massive body.
They're just like human Geodudes walking around.
they are. They all look exactly the same.
Yeah. Other than, I mean, I feel like Gears of War is like, other than like, the only thing different was they had different races, which is they were pretty
Good for them being diverse.
diverse
How
compared to other video
controversial.
games.
Yeah, especially for a game where the human race is basically extinct.
Yeah, you gotta be diverse in those times. But that's my favorite DLC. I think an honorable mention would be Dragon Age 1.
God, I didn't know you liked that game.
Oh, I love that game. I played that
It's a great game.
Like I think I played that game twice through, like the whole game, like
Dang.
DLC and all. Shout out to Alex for introducing me to that game, and I never played Dragon Age 2 or 3, but maybe one day I will. But I'm starting to like this beer. I've had a few more sips.
the longest segue into a beer rating I've ever heard.
That was a good one.
But I still like. I don't know. It's like doesn't have a whole lot of flavor to me.
What in the world? Whoa.
Bing bong.
It's like it's definitely really sweet, but it's not too sweet for me. Like I think I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5 tabs.
Fair enough. Wow, I rated it the lowest.
Yeah,
But I like it
mean,
more than Sam.
To be honest, like my rating was like I was caught up in the hype. So
You hyped it up yourself. We were all kind
You're
of
gonna
like,
redact
I don't
your
know.
I
about
was-
this.
rating?
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna redact my rating, but there's just an asterisk next to mine.
I mean, Breckenridge Brewery has a very good vanilla porter, and I think that's where I like my dessert sweet beers to go.
We'll have to try that one then.
Which is like that would be porters are heavier than lagers and whatnot, and that would be like the happy middle ground for me. And I think that's why I'm not super stoked with this one, because that one is just right on the money.
True.
But we're not reviewing that beer. We're
Why?
reviewing this
We're
one.
not. Okay.
No, I mean, just not
another
right
time.
now.
Yeah.
Not right now. So yeah,
One day.
thanks for the reviews, everybody. Thanks. We got our first 5 out of 5,
Yeah,
and I
that's-
brought it, which means I'm a genius.
Means nothing.
means you got to bring it next week.
All right, whatever.
But this week this week we're doing traditionally with B movies, like you'd go to see a movie, and like an A-list movie, like you go see King Kong or something like this. And then
King Kong,
Fuck your life.
also New York City.
Yeah. We're
Oh my
so
gosh.
good.
But
It's Donkey Kong December, baby.
so
Kong
nowadays you have
December.
about 30 minutes of commercials for movies coming out. But before that, they would have commercials, but they would also have B movies where you'd watch 1 to infinitely amounts of like B movies that are basically short.
1 to infinite.
I mean, like yeah, I was looking, and sometimes they'd have 3 or 4 B movies.
Dude,
'cause
that would piss me
sometimes
off.
they're like 5 minutes long. So
I'm
it's
kind of
like,
mad when we go to movies and there's like 30 minutes of trailers in front.
Dude, that's like why I go to
Yeah.
movies.
No, I want to get out on time.
Oh.
I'm an old man. I can't stay up.
Oh man, I love the trailers. Except if I've seen them, then I'm just like,
Trailers
move on.
nowadays just spoil everything.
Dude, most trailers have stuff that's not even in the movie. Like,
That is true. There's a lot of cut content. That happened with one of the movies we watched today, actually.
yeah. Oh, there's a lot of cut content with. We watched Kung Pao. Is it Enter the Fist? Is that what it
Yes.
was? Yeah, Enter the Fist. And,
Enter the Fury of the Fist.
No.
Of Fury.
No.
It's Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
And then we also watched
Kung Pao
Kung
Chicken.
Fury.
The spiritual successor to Kung Pao.
Yeah.
I can say that. The spirituals, they use that term all the time. It means nothing.
They're not. The two movies are nothing.
I'm a
alike.
spiritual successor to Jesus.
Do not. Yeah, you're not that.
It doesn't mean anything. You can say that. You can say it's
Let's move on.
Yeah.
okay, whatever. My point still stands. I'm not Jesus.
But yeah.
That's good that you know that.
Who was it?
I have to clarify so I don't go to hell.
Who recommended this movie to us?
A friend of ours named Alex Towery, who is a wonderful
no.
human being. Shut your mouth. Shut it. Be quiet. Be quiet. This is my turn.
All right.
Alex, you're a wonderful human being. I really enjoyed watching Kung Pao with you. You didn't watch Kung Fury with us because you like to go to bed early, and that's fine.
No one, you guys didn't watch it either.
I watched it.
I rewatched it.
I've also
I
seen the
rewatched-
movie before.
I rewatched both
Alright.
parts that I fell
I
asleep.
take it
in.
back. I apologize. I apologize to you, not Alex.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Alex Towery recommended the Kung Pao. Did you recommend
Yeah.
Kung Fury?
I recommended Kung Pao.
Doesn't really matter.
I recommended it.
Okay. Alex
Oh my
Towery
God.
recommended both movies to us. Really grateful
No,
for
I
that.
recommended both of them.
I remember
Thank you,
him
Alex.
recommend. I remember you recommending.
All
it.
right, whatever.
I remember him recommending Kung Pao.
I'm full of it,
Which-
as I would say.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, man. I watched it with him in like high school.
Okay,
And,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's like a classic kind of like high school, middle school movie. Just
It
like
is.
goofy. But I can go into this summary. It's I found a really good summary online, so I'm just gonna read it. It's
Whoa, he's bringing out the Microsoft Word.
Oh heck yeah! I just copy pasted
got
this.
the-
No,
dual-
Sam, you
it's
can't
got
say
the
that.
dual
We didn't
monitor. Yeah, you
plagiarize it.
can't do that. You
Sam
can't
wrote
do
this from scratch. All original
so I'm
content.
gonna do the summary now from memory.
Sam's fired.
Oh, I'm fired. All right, sweet.
He doesn't have to work
Dream
on
come
Sam
true.
fired.
Honestly, it's a good thing.
Oh wow. So a man called the Chosen One. This is weird because I have my back to Wes and Nick.
We're just
and-
making faces. At
It's
you.
like Mystery Science Theater.
yeah, exactly. We're all just watching the screen. But a man called the Chosen One wanders from town to town, which actually before this, I mean, I'm just going to go, I'm just going to go straight into this. Like, my favorite scene in the whole movie was that first scene.
The first scene. It was all downhill from there, just like the baby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So basically, I mean, you guys should just watch, like, Kung Pao highlights. And the first scene is basically like this baby falling down a cliff for 2 minutes. And he's like, ooh, making baby noises. And then he gets to a level part, and this villager is just wandering around. She's like, oh, like this baby. And she says, so cute. And then she proceeds to dump the baby off the rest of the cliff. And he's like, ooh.
I looked that up. That is actually a scathing critique of China's one-child policy, because she would not have been allowed to take that baby home.
That's incredible.
Shoot.
That's not true. But
I
wouldn't it have
think
been
is
cool
probably true.
if that was true?
Deep down inside.
But
That is hilarious. That's like, the movie does start immediately with absurdist humor, but that's probably the second scene, and it is spot on for what's going to happen for the rest of the movie.
So basically, the context of this movie is they took an old
Kung Fu movie.
Mhm.
Was it Chinese?
I have no idea.
Kung Fu movies are Chinese.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I didn't know.
That's all right. I just have to put that out there.
Yeah. So they took an old Kung Fu movie and dubbed over it with their own filming and all of their own versions of the dub. So what's his name? Steve
Odekirk.
Odekirk, yeah.
Not to be confused with Bob Odenkirk, who's a
No.
completely different person.
But I still think they're related.
Somewhere. It's like one letter off. But so the entire movie's dubbed. Even the English parts are dubbed. And it's all cut and spliced together with a really old Kung Fu movie. And it's honestly really impressive how well they were able to splice it together.
Yeah, for
phenomenal.
2003, it's top quality. And this was also a budget movie.
Yeah.
So anyways,
It's high budget, dude.
So anyways,
Like,
when we're
a lot of
talking
money
about
on
the
this.
plot and like all these scenes, just know that the original movie was intended to be taken somewhat seriously, and then they just made it into a completely different movie. And it's not. It's all parody. It's all jokes. It's none of it's supposed to be taken seriously now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's satire.
Yeah, but basically, I mean, the Chosen One wanders from town to town, which actually, like, the Chosen One was named by the narrator. We don't actually know if he's the Chosen One or not, but he's chosen because he has this weird tongue, which he calls tonguey. And like
I don't
he
know
like
Yeah, they never explained that
he
either.
like basically he puts his tongue out, and like there's this face that's just two eyes and teeth and a tongue, and it's just like
It also has its own tongue.
It's like the annoying orange, but on his tongue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is exactly the new orange. But basically, yeah, I mean, he's going from town to town. His well, I guess the first scene was he was a child and his family got murdered.
He was the baby that fell down the cliff.
Yeah, but he's going to find this guy who killed his family because he knows he can kill him because he's the chosen one. And he meets this guy, Master Tang, and he's a very ill and very silly kind of guy. And he asks him to help him in his martial arts skills. And the Master Tang is very skeptical, but he sees his tongue and he knows that he's the chosen one because that's the mark of the chosen one. And he allows him to train in his dojo. And he meets this guy called Wimp Lo, which I didn't realize that was the guy's name who had the squeaky
shoes.
Yeah.
Master, I thought I was going to be the chosen one.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. I just like that. That's like that's a great name, Wimp Lo. And then he also has this female, Ling, who's also his partner.
A woman, Sam.
Yeah. And a surprise, Ling has romantic feelings for the chosen one. Do we
Ooh.
even know the chosen one's like actual name?
No,
Like,
he doesn't.
No?
He doesn't
Okay.
have a name.
That's what I thought. But
And that was the last time like the little tongue thing was a major plot device. Like it doesn't really come into
No,
play
he makes
again.
out with that girl later in the film.
Yeah, but
Was
They
it the
do
one boob
tongue
girl?
Jiu-jitsu.
yeah,
Yes, one boob girl.
but that was just making out.
oh yeah, that's fine. I mean, yeah,
I don't know. It seemed
Ling
pretty
and Chosen
relevant
One
to
are-
me. I was watching very attentively at the plot details that were happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, the chosen one's training, and Wimlo does not like that he's training with Master Tang because he thought he was the chosen one, and he actually tries to go kill Master Pain, which At this point, Master Payne has arrived in town, and the Chosen One is preparing to confront him.
Because Master Payne is the one that killed his family.
Yes. And Master Payne draws a crowd and demonstrates his skills. He lets his henchmen hit him repeatedly with bow staffs, and they hit him in the body and hit him in the groin. They hit him in the groin a lot. Every time they hit him in the groin, it's like a boink, boink. And then he subdues all of them. And impressed by this, the Chosen One decides to recreate this, and he asks,
Oh, this is my favorite scene in the movie.
Go ahead and explain it.
Okay, so the Chosen One, people say he's not ready to fight Master Payne, and Master Payne is very strong. He beats up everybody to classic 80s bangers. And he also has 2 small metal triangles in his body that are the source of his power. People try and remove them, but they cannot. So even though the Chosen One has crazy kung fu skills, he doesn't know how to remove those yet. So he wants to prove that he is as strong as Master Payne, at least. So he gets a lot of his his fellow students to beat him up with staffs like Master Payne does with his henchmen. So he just goes into a courtyard and he tells all these students to start hitting him with a bow staff, and of course as soon as he gets hit with the bow staff, he starts getting hurt, and as soon as they hit him in the groin, he keels over, and then they got 4 or 5 guys just wailing on him with staffs.
It's like a 5-minute scene.
It is a 5-minute scene. Before all this happens, he's like, all right, here's how it's going to work. I'm going to resist all your attacks, and then I'm going to throw you off, and you're not going to hurt me at all. But he's like, don't stop hitting me until I say so. And because they immediately incapacitate him and knock him out and he's on the ground, they just keep wailing on him with sticks. And they're like, just will not stop hitting him. And then they start slowing down because they get tired. And he's like, wait a second. Why isn't he say anything?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, well, yeah, he actually stopped making noises a little while ago. And then they're trying to, one guy's trying to rationalize out, I don't know, he didn't tell us to stop. And these other guys yeah, but he's not really doing anything. And then while they're arguing it out, one guy gets bored and starts hitting him again. And then they all just start beating him again because he didn't say stop. And then it just goes on a little longer. And then they realize, okay, well, maybe he just wants us to dogpile on him like they did with Master Payne. And so they just dogpile on him, and they realize they pretty much killed this guy. So they all run away. But halfway through them beating him, it cuts to just a very clear body. It's like stunt. What's the word? What are those things called? A ragdoll?
Yeah, it's like a giant ragdoll version of him.
But it's just a masterful scene. It is. I love jokes that drag on too long. And also just pain.
It's very this movie's very Monty Python.
Oh, yeah.
Just over the top jokes, and they go on way too long, but that's why they're funny almost.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they do it as well as Monty Python, but it's also just, it's the hilarity is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like with Monty Python, there's a little bit of wit to it. With this movie, it's just
there's no wit.
This is not an intelligent
goofy
movie.
No.
Yeah.
These are the best scenes. There are tons of scenes where it's just really crude humor or crass or just dumb humor. And I think with Monty Python, there's a little bit more continuity.
There's a lot
and
of political jokes that are
and just more continuity and self-referential humor. This movie stuff happens where there's just it's never referenced again.
Monty Python, there's a lot of monologue jokes that have a lot of hidden meanings and double entendres that are very clever, but this movie just doesn't really have that I'm aware of. It's just chipmunk head nunchucks and fighting cows,
milking cows till they turn into sticks.
Yeah.
And one boob ladies.
What a crazy movie.
But after basically the dude gets beat up, he goes to see the one boob lady whose name is Whoa. And
because that's what you say when you see her.
Yeah.
Oh, is that her name?
Yeah. Whoa.
Oh, I gotta change my trivia then.
And I mean, it could be wrong, but Wikipedia never lies.
Oh no, that does make way more sense.
But basically, Whoa tells the Chosen One, hey, you should not fight Master Payne because he's a boss. And of course, the Chosen One ignores him, and he continues on, and he's going to find Betty. And at this point, he runs into a cow who knows karate, and the cow kind of kicks his ass a little bit before he milks him. And
what was the cow's name? It had some stupid name.
It's Moo New. Moon you.
Moon you. Oh yeah, moon you, like moon, like mooning you.
Yeah.
Like butts.
And
Butts.
well, actually, so I didn't realize that Betty was the Master Tang. I thought Betty was the Master Pain.
Betty is Master Pain.
Betty is Master Pain.
Yeah, you're
that's what
getting
they call
stuff.
him, Betty.
I think you're getting stuff mixed up here, Sam.
Yeah,
You're too drunk.
I thought
to do
whoa.
this.
I thought whoa was the
10%
wee woo
viewers
lady.
Wee woo wee woo.
wee.
That's Ling.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
How can anyone?
When I did
believe
my
Ling?
research on this movie, I got a completely different thing. But I think it's all just nonsensical.
Yeah. That's another good. Like at one point, Master Pain captures Ling, this romantic interest of the chosen one.
He captures the girl.
Yeah.
You were even watching.
I watched the
movie?
whole movie.
Were you
And
watching
then,
the
like-
movie?
Shut up. I was watching you guys fall asleep.
Dude, I was paying attention.
I was paying attention.
Whatever.
I was
What did he?
listening.
Okay, he captured her. What happened?
But basically, he's like, I want you, because she's like a pretty woman. And then they start doing their weird, like, I can't remember what the Master Pain did, like these sounds. He's like, Do you remember what his sounds were? But I remember Ling would also do, she'd be like,
He just groans. He like groans all the time. He's always like.
yeah. But
And
basically,
he like talks to himself all the time.
he does. There's a lot of talking to him.
Like when he finds the baby booties, he's like, booties. Like when he's walking along, he just says something he sees.
But like at one point, whenever Ling and Master Pain are together, they have this battle of their sounds. So like Master Pain's like,
Okay, I do remember that.
and
yeah.
then Ling's like, and this goes on for
That was
probably a minute.
That was
like,
really annoying.
like that's kind of like this whole movie is just kind of like, I mean, you said it. It's like it's just prolonged humor that's kind of like extends its stay, but it's still like really funny. And I feel like that's what I really liked about this movie was just kind of how like humorous something can be the longer like you hear it.
They have a lot of gags like that. Like it's particularly, I think the one that I remember the most as the kid was when the chosen one finds Ling, the wee woo lady, after she's been captured, and he sees her at the end of a field, and he's running in the distance, and it keeps cutting back to her. She's like, "I'm over here," and he goes, "I'm coming." And it shows him like getting closer, and it keeps cutting back and forth between the same scenes. But then it shows him like further away and then closer again. And there's a lot of jokes in the movie like that.
That's like a direct pull from Monty Python.
Yeah, yeah.
and the Holy Grail.
And it's like when he talks about like the good master who was saying, "Are we recording, Sam?" Yeah, we're recording. Okay, you scared me there for a second, you little bastard.
I would have left.
I would have redone this whole thing. When he recalls the prophecy, he's like, "One day there was a man who told me you would come," and it like goes like to the what's the word, like the flashback thing, and then he goes, "A man will come," and then it goes back to the present. Like it's just a lot of very self-evident stuff, and then things that are repeated over and over. Like it does that same flashback thing like 2 or 3 times, and the joke is the same, and somehow the joke gets a little funnier the more it goes on. Like usually that would be very annoying, but like at the end with this chase scene where he's like coming into the field, he finally gets like captured by a very tiny net, and the net is comically too small. It barely covers his face, but he's acting like it's like strangling him. And it also goes on for too long. He's like acting like he's fighting it, and then he succumbs, but then he fights it a little more, and then he succumbs. And that's pretty much the metaphor for the whole movie. There's like funny parts and unfunny parts, and the funny parts come out of nowhere, and they jar you, and they keep you interested, but the unfunny parts put old boomers to sleep.
Yeah.
Those boomers.
Those boomers. It was a long movie. That was like,
It was like an hour and a half.
dude, it felt like
That is
2.5 hours.
Barely feature length.
It was like 30 minutes too long.
Yeah.
It was.
But
They did cut a lot of stuff out.
yeah.
This was not a cheap movie to make either.
I thought it
this
was.
This is not a B movie. No, they spent.
It's like,
How much? How many millions? I thought it was like 2 million.
I think it was 40 million.
No.
I'm gonna look it up.
I don't think it was that much, but anything over $1 million for me is not.
Oh, damn.
That's not like.
Well, they already
A
had
B-movie
half a
in the
movie filmed.
sense-
They just had to rip it off and dub it.
I mean, anyways, my point is this wasn't a B movie because it was like a low budget movie. It was a B movie because it was just like comically bad. Like it's kind of like what you said. The funny parts came out of nowhere, and like a lot of the things that were supposed to be funny they didn't really hit the way that they were intended to hit. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe they did when I was like 10 or 12.
This is middle school humor.
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
movie.
I remember watching this I would only ever see it on TV, and I was never allowed to watch the one boob lady scene, and also the scene where Ling drops her towel 5 times, and then is worried that the chosen one will think she's a slut after she's flashed him 5 times.
It's a $10 million budget, but like,
Is it really? But
Yeah.
it made no profit, right?
probably not. But for me, I mean, like a B movie is a bad movie. Like, I mean, I think traditionally B movies are low budget movies because they're like a 5-minute thing, or just like people like just kind of working up to build an A-tier movie. But
$10 million is chump change for a film,
yeah,
especially one released theatrically. It made 17 million.
Wow.
But yeah, like watching it as a kid and now watching it as an adult, I was not as enamored with it. I had more nostalgic memories than watching it now. It was still really funny.
oh yeah.
This was a movie I quoted in high school all the time. Me and Ryan would do the Master Payne voice, but
Dude, Master Payne had like that like wig on. Like he was definitely a bald guy, and he had this wig that was like a toupee that like started at the top, the middle of his head.
okay, this is a traditional Chinese haircut that Sam is making fun of.
Oh,
Yeah, this was a part of, I think, the Ming Dynasty, where all
I don't know why you
Chinese
looked at
men
me.
had to wear their hair
I
like
don't know
that.
anything about Chinese history.
I thought we watched these because we were all martial artists. The reason
You
I
are.
wanted to watch these is because I am a kung fu master.
Okay.
you got a black belt?
I have a purple belt and a blue
Ooh.
belt, and I took a kung fu class and a tai chi class in college.
Don't got a black belt, not a master.
What do you got a black belt in, Sam?
I don't got a black belt, but I know what a master is.
You want to fight me? Let's go, bro.
Let's do it, man.
Okay.
I'll take you outside.
When we get the video section of the
Fuck
podcast,
your
Sam and I
life.
will
Bing bong.
do
Bing
some
bong.
do some mud wrestling. What the heck?
When the dogs are in the yard, and you know I'm upstairs.
Ooh,
But
baby.
at some point in this movie, the chosen one finds confidence. I think he meets a Mufasa like character.
Oh yeah, literally Mu
Yeah.
M-U Fasa.
Yeah, and
Mushu Fasa. That's what it is.
Mushufasa.
CNN.
Oh gosh.
You know
Forgot about that.
who voiced that?
Oh my God, we're gonna have no trivia.
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. He was the
He's
guy
got a
that did
smooth
the
voice.
who did Mufasa and also
Darth
signed
Vader.
off CNN.
That's Darth
See.
Vader, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the voice of Darth Vader.
Yeah, the voice. Well, he did play Darth Vader in like the original edit of New Hope.
Oh, I did not know
Very,
that.
very.
I thought he
briefly.
was different. They got a different actor
They
because his
did.
body
Mhm.
wasn't.
They
right.
did, but in like the initial scenes, they had James Earl Jones be Darth Vader. They edited it
I
out.
feel like we talk about Darth Vader not Darth Vader.
Star Wars?
Star Wars every
'Cause it's the-
podcast.
It's because I'm on the podcast.
No, it's great. It's great.
Okay, shall we continue moving on?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh yes, he finds his confidence from Mushu Pork.
yeah. Who he gives him some words of wisdom. Probably something dumb.
He doesn't. He just gives him a cryptic prophecy, and he's like, "You'll understand in the future."
He's like, I don't know.
And he's like, "You'll figure it out."
Oh, there's this one scene at the beginning of the movie where the chosen one comes into the dojo, and one of the underlings is like, "Hey, who is this guy?" And then like it proceeds to like show this guy like mouthing off like a lot of words, and then it's just like it's like 5 seconds of talking, and then he goes, "I don't know."
Well, I don't know. That's just making fun of how dubs were done back
But-
in old kung fu movies.
The ending of the movie was like pretty fast. Like all I remember was just basically the chosen one and Betty fighting.
They have a good fight scene,
Oh yeah,
and especially with how they cut and rotoscoped in over the old footage, it was really well done.
Yeah, the editing is impressive. Like
That's where all
there
the
are some
budget went.
scenes where they purposefully mess up the editing to remind you that it's two movies spliced together.
Like when they dubbed the dog wrong.
Yeah.
When the dog barks and
Yeah.
it's like 10
and
seconds
then,
later
and then
goes,
sometimes the chosen one, they'll actually show the original actor from the front because you see him from the back sometimes, but they'll accidentally show the chosen one on purpose from the original movie, and it's obviously a Chinese guy and not Steve Odekirk. So just to like remind you that this is not a real movie, like don't take it too seriously. So that part, it's really beautifully done. I really appreciate. That's probably my favorite part of the movie is the editing, and those little moments are actually pretty smart. I liked it a lot.
They were smart.
But obviously, the Chosen One has a battle with Master Payne, and he kicks his butt with some. I think Black Betty was playing.
Yes, it was.
Which I remember when that movie came out, like I thought Black Betty was an amazing song, and it's just like it's a fun song, but it's like it's just classic '80s rock.
It gets a little overhyped.
Whoa, Black Betty. And it ends very quickly with the Chosen One kicking Betty's butt.
And also sending aliens.
Oh yeah, the French aliens.
Yeah, the Betty worked for the evil council and that's who gave Betty all the power. And this at the end, it's like it's aliens, but they're from France, which I didn't really get the joke. I guess that was like 2003 humor when like America.
Fuck yeah,
best country in the world. Screw France for not invading Iraq with us. For real, dude. French fries more like freedom fries.
They already have oil in Cambodia.
I cannot believe France did that to us. But I would also imagine that's why they had the France joke in there. But yeah, kicks aliens out, and then it has a gag reel for Kung Pao 2.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And that never happened. So
no,
they never planned on making Kung Pao 2.
Okay,
that was
like a joke on in purpose. Pre-production.
No way.
Yeah, in 2015, Steve Odekirk said he is ready to start making the next one, but does not have anything set in stone yet. But that was 7 years ago.
Yeah,
so.
that Bruce Almighty movie isn't helping him out too much.
Dude, Bruce Almighty was a
Bruce
good
Almighty?
movie.
I didn't realize that.
Evan Almighty was good too.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I'm ready to kind of move into rating this movie.
Yeah.
But I think for me, like this movie, for me, like I think about watching it as a kid. You mentioned earlier, like it has like the nostalgia feel of it, and I definitely think it still has that. But I think other than like being a little bit longer than I want it to be, it's still like a really fun movie. Like the humor is just kind of like very, very dumb, and I kind of really appreciate that.
It's mindless.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can put this on and just enjoy. Like you don't have to pay attention to enjoy it.
You could be,
which that's what it's intended to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it intends to be.
And like, the editing is really good for. It's like that's their whole thing. It's like they just want to edit it in a funny way. It's very YouTube like. Like I feel like this could be a YouTube movie, like someone that would make something now.
For sure. Yeah, if all these were just skits on YouTube, they would have gone viral.
But I think for me, I'd give this an A tier.
Whoa.
I think it's a fun movie, and I really like it, and I would definitely watch it again. I definitely wouldn't watch it by myself because that would be awful.
Man.
I wouldn't watch it by myself either. This is a movie to share. It's like pull apart pizza bread.
You go ahead with yours.
I liked it a lot. When we were watching it, I don't know if you guys were just being such sticklers, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought it was. And it was kind of going back to that thing. Like, I really enjoyed it a lot as a kid. There's just so much nostalgia to it. I don't know if my sense of humor has evolved. I know I haven't gotten more mature. I've definitely gotten, I still enjoy very dumb and crude humor.
Maybe your humor has matured a little bit more.
No.
No.
I just didn't have as much patience with it, I guess. I still enjoyed my favorite scenes as much, but yeah, like I kind of interjected on yours, Sam, but same thing. Like I enjoyed it for what it was. This is definitely something I could see myself watching again, especially with people who haven't seen it before, or if we just put on something funny and dumb, and just enjoy it like you would sharing a YouTube video with somebody, except it's an hour and a half long. So I would, like in the grand scheme of things, as far as B movies go, give this a C tier. I would much rather watch Kung Fury or Velocipaster over this if I'm going to watch a comedy B tier movie. But I still would like to watch this movie again. It was still enjoyable. I still would recommend it 100%, especially to someone who hasn't seen it, unlike some of the other travesties we've watched.
There's been a lot of travesties.
I did not have the same experience as you guys watching this movie.
Well, you were asleep for
Yeah,
20
for
minutes
real.
of it.
Well, to be fair, I did go back and watch like
Sure.
the second half of the movie because I didn't remember any of it. But my take on it is it was more cringe than laughs.
Whoa. You're woke
Definitely
now,
cringy.
dude. If you are easily offended, don't watch this movie.
I wasn't offended. I just, I was never offended in the movie.
I was pretty offended.
Obviously, some of the jokes have not aged well. It's a Chinese kung fu movie. They obviously play off of that really hard. And this day and age, that's not really done as much anymore. It's just not as funny. But that's not what bothered me. I just didn't find it that funny or enjoyable. I'll stick with my appreciation of the editing. That was really clever how they seamlessly, like, and truly seamlessly edited in two different movies together, and you would never have known if they didn't obviously tell you throughout the movie. Like they had to remind you throughout the movie so that you didn't forget that they dubbed it over twice. So like that in itself earns a letter grade, but
Sure.
and the funny parts were very funny, but I would say 80% of the movie was cringe. I would put it as a D tier movie.
Ooh.
Fair.
I just think like
That's what Dune got.
yeah, it wasn't as good as Dune.
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, like, let's be real here. I just don't think it was as good.
I like it. I like the
I think
criticism.
that, I think if you were 12, you would find this hilarious.
I
Ouch.
am 12.
Ouch to our listeners that find this hilarious and are not that young.
And I'm trying not to be too critical, and there's certainly redeemable qualities of this movie, but for me personally, it's gonna have to be a D.
That's fair. I gave it a C. I can't judge too hard there. I like the criticism. It's very valid.
Thank you for acknowledging my.
Well,
feelings.
I'm very quick to let people know their opinions are wrong.
Yeah.
And your opinion is not wrong, Nick.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh wow.
Your opinion's not wrong either, Sam. I respect the A tier. Young Wesley. What?
But
What? No.
butt's
Okay.
there.
Let's move on.
Let's get through Kung Fury quickly.
Yeah.
Kung Fury's a quick movie,
Yeah,
so we'll get through it in 10 minutes, no problem.
Kung Fury is a 30-minute movie on YouTube, so if you have not seen it
It's
yet,
for free.
it is great. But basically, it's sometime in the early 1980s, the Miami-Dade Police Department detective Kung Fury and his partner Dragon apprehend a red ninja in a back alley. But Dragon is sliced in half by the ninja, while Kung Fury is suddenly struck by lightning and bitten by a cobra at the same time, giving him extraordinary kung fu powers that enable him to defeat his foe. Years later, in 1985, after defeating a rogue arcade machine robot, which, like, this movie is just, like, ridiculous. Like, everything about it is just, like, I mean, like, I feel like the 80s is just a ridiculous time period, and, like, it very much goes into that.
This is a hyper parody.
Yeah.
This is a parody of parodies.
But after he defeats this robot, he decides he wants to quit the force, and he's this. Well, when he's assigned a partner, Triceracop, who's just kind of like this kind of very monotonous kind of character who's just like,
It's just the Triceratops that can walk
yeah,
And has a British accent.
on two legs.
he just wants to, pass out the parking tickets and have a good life. But Kung Fury has higher ambitions.
Well, Kung Fury's ex-partner died, and he's
Oh.
traumatized by that memory. So
It
he'll
is.
never take another partner.
It's very emotional.
It's a classic trope in cop dramas and crime dramas.
I work alone.
But there's this guy who happens to look like Adolf Hitler. He's called Kung Fuhrer.
It
just
That is
happens.
genius, Sam. That is genius. It is Hitler, everybody.
No,
It's not Donald Trump.
It's Kung Fuhrer.
Just
It's not
looks
Hitler.
like him.
But he comes in and he guns down the police chief and attacks the precinct through a mobile phone.
That's one of the best scenes. Hello, 911. Is this the police? And the guy answers like, yeah, this is the police. And he just goes, he's got a mobile phone from the 80s. He just goes, fuck you. And he starts shooting into his mobile phone.
Bing bong.
And the phone just starts gunning down everybody in the police precinct. It is genius.
So basically, Kung Fury is tasked with he's got to come back and he's got to avenge this.
He's got to go back in time and kill Hitler.
Yeah, and he
it's also a classic trope of like any movie that has time traveling.
But how does he go back in time, Sam?
He gets the Hacker Man, who is
one of the most iconic
Hacker
memes
Man
of all time. The Hacker Man meme came from this
he
movie.
is there's
inspired my aesthetic.
there's a lot of so many gifts from this movie. But the Hacker Man, he basically at some point he gives Kung Fury a keyboard, and then Kung Fury jumps on the keyboard and goes back in time through his hacking powers.
Short the power of this man, Sam. He hacks time, dude.
In space.
He hacks time. He's doing every hacking montage ever times 100. In his basement with a Nintendo Power Glove on. He hacks time.
It's pretty incredible.
And so he wants to go back in time to kill Kung Führer, not Adolf Hitler, in Nazi Germany. Not
but not Nazi Germany.
just somewhere where there's a fascist state that resembles Nazism.
Whatever.
But he ends up in the Viking Age where he meets
He goes too
far back in time.
He hacks too much time.
and
He forgets to click.
But they have guns, machine guns in the Viking Age.
And Tyrannosaurus Rexes.
yeah, because they're
and
still
Thor.
alive. Because dinosaurs exist.
What is it? What he has a name for him? What are they called? Laser raptors or something?
Yes.
Yeah, they're laser raptors.
A raptor shows up and shoots lasers at him. He's like, oh, fuck.
There's laser raptors.
I thought they went extinct. Unless it's the Viking Age.
Yeah. It's an imperfect representation of the
Makes
Viking
no
Age.
sense whatsoever.
It's a loose interpretation of old history.
I mean, this is a world where there's a Triceratops as a cop, so
Yeah.
it's an alternate reality.
Anything
Anything
goes.
can happen.
Yeah.
And somehow these Vikings go, oh, it's
Very buxom and powerful women.
yeah.
Thor is like the size of a skyscraper.
And these are all like bodybuilders, like classic 80s, like Arnold Schwarzenegger types. Like they are jacked and ready to kick ass.
Yeah, and for some reason they should have gone with him, but they send him back forward into time so that he can kill.
Yeah, they're very
Führer.
nonchalant about it. They're like, here's a guy from the future. And then they're like, oh, you want to go in the future? All right, whatever.
We can do that.
And he'd be like, how can we contact you? And he gives him a mobile phone. He gives him a car phone.
Oh yeah,
He
I
does
forgot
like
about
an ad for it.
He does like an ad read for it. She's like, oh, great, thanks.
Yeah.
that. And he makes it to Germany where he fights a bunch of Nazis. And this is the part that I think the fight sequences in this movie are my favorite part of the movie, just because it's just ridiculous, like kung fu stuff. Kung fu stuff.
There's like a 5-minute side scroller, like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
scene
it
where
looks
he's
like
killing Nazis.
was it Streets of Fury? Is that the
Street
video game?
Fighter?
No. There's like a side scroller, like beat 'em up game, as opposed to like a fighting game.
Yeah.
And it's like that. Yeah, it's very well done.
And Kung Fury's kicking ass, and then
But not enough ass.
Kung Fuhrer comes out, and he's about to kick Kung Fury's ass.
Kung Fuhrer is also a kung fu master.
Oh yeah, and he needs some help. So Triceratops comes, and everyone comes to aid their ally, and I keep mixing up Kung Fury and Kung Führer.
Just call him Hitler. That's who he is.
No, he's not Hitler.
He is Hitler. They call him Hitler.
He's Karate Hitler.
They
That's
call
all
him
he
Hitler.
is.
Oh, okay. If they call him Hitler, then
I know you're just trying to keep this podcast PG rated.
yeah.
We're not making any money. We're not going to get demonetized.
We'll get demonetized if we put it on YouTube.
For sure.
Fuck YouTube. You hear
Dude.
that? Fuck you, YouTube.
Dude,
I hate
Stop.
you.
YouTube
Dislike.
is
I'm
supreme.
disliking that. I'm disliking that right
You
now.
guys suck.
Too bad we
You
can't see it.
Bring back the dislike button.
No.
But
Sorry.
Oh, no worries, no worries. But essentially, Kung Fury, he kicks Kung Fuhrer's ass, and this movie is very fast paced, as is most '90s films or '80s films, and it's very retro-y with like the music, the synth, like
The music is fantastic.
Yeah, I was about to say music's incredible.
and like just the imagery is very much like you feel like you are watching like a Windows like ad. Like it's just like ridiculous, like kind of like animations, like of like, oh, like let's check out this like sweet technology.
Yeah, everything's oversaturated. It's got grainy effect. It's edited that way on purpose.
Yeah, and it's really smart because like the CGI and all the editing, I'm sure, is relatively low budget, but you can't tell because of the filters they have on it. It actually looks really good.
It was also done to hide like production mistakes and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So like the darks are really dark and the brights are really bright, and like the colors are really, really saturated, and so like it looks like a cyberpunk world, and you miss all the mistakes, and that's like they do it really well, and it's really beautiful. It's a very visually stunning 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, for a free movie, it's made on $200,000 budget. It's
like
fantastic.
the opening fight scene with the arcade machine is actually really incredible.
Oh yeah, the arcade machine's awesome.
Love it. Just starts flipping people off and shooting lasers.
But yeah, I mean, this movie is like, I mean, for me, like, it's like the opposite of kind of Kung Pao, where it's like very much like they're just like Kung Fury, like everything has a purpose, and like it's very much like everything's beautiful.
They
about
know
it.
where they're going with it.
Yeah.
For it being only 30 minutes long, everything in it is gold.
And like
if you haven't seen Kung Fury, you're missing out. If you haven't seen Kung Pao, you're not really missing a whole lot.
I would disagree, but even if we're explaining the best jokes in either of these, you will enjoy watching both of them. But Kung Fury, I think,
Kung
is
Fury's amazing.
the way to go.
Yeah,
it's a classic.
I watched it in 2015 when I got my first mullet.
Yeah,
It was just a fantastic time of life.
this is also, I mean, it's more, it's a low budget movie it's the natural sense of a B movie, and it's an S tier movie for me.
Whoa. Have we had an S tier before?
yeah, we have a couple S tiers. I can look it up.
I'm talking about in the Wesley era. In the Betty era.
I mean, Velocipaster is a S tier movie for me. I'm pretty sure I've given 3 S tiers.
I gave Troll 2 an S tier. Sam gave it an A tier. I gave Velocipaster an A tier, and Sam gave it an S tier.
I know I gave it an A tier. I would give Kung Fury an S tier.
It's just like too good.
It's too good. I think also, it being shorter helps it. He wanted to make a feature length film, but didn't get the funding for that. I think that would have hurt it.
Definitely would have. I mean, if he probably had a lot of creative liberties.
Although I do want more Kung Fury content.
Did he say anything about like making new stuff? Or?
Hitler didn't die, man.
Yeah.
There is a Kung Fury 2 coming out, and I will talk about it in the trivia section.
Sweet.
And it is going to be amazing.
Sweet. Nick, what did you give this?
Did you already give yours?
Yeah.
S tier.
I'm gonna give Kung Fury an A tier.
Fair.
I realize the paradox of it being 30 minutes was the reason why it was so good, but if it were longer than that, it probably would have hurt the quality.
That's fair.
But
We
I
shouldn't
think
give it a leg up.
that's why it shouldn't be an S tier, because it's only 30 minutes.
We shouldn't give it a leg up. I can't redact my score, but
no redacting, but
that's true.
you can put
All sales
asterisks
are
by
final.
your scores. But
No asterisks or Kurt Vonnegut buttholes.
it loses the S tier privilege because it's only 30 minutes. I just don't think it's fair to Troll 2.
I feel like I think it's very honoring to B movies, and it deserves an S tier because it's not only short and it's also low budget. So I think it's probably the most honorable of the actual B movie.
Ooh.
I like it. Let's discuss more.
I think Troll 2 is the quintessential B movie. It's low budget.
Yeah.
It's bad, and it's absolutely hilarious and enjoyable.
Yeah.
Kung Fury is low budget. It's really good, and it's funny, but it's only 30 minutes. And it's also not bad.
Yeah. I mean, B movies don't have to be bad.
No, but quintessential and perfect B movie in every sense of the word, it should be a bad movie. So bad that you enjoy it.
No.
Yes.
I disagree. I disagree with
If
I'm with
you
Sam.
use The Room as your measuring stick is what the perfect B movie is, because that to me is the perfect B movie. It has to be so bad that it's good. That's the perfect B movie, in my opinion.
So for you, a B movie has to be bad?
No, but the perfect B movie, like an S tier B movie, has to be so bad that it's good. An S tier one.
Gotcha. I feel like for me, like, I mean, like, I think I think most low budget movies are either gonna be bad, kind of disqualifying YouTube stuff, like from like an actual like production company standpoint. But I don't think, I disagree, and I think I appreciate a good movie that like just chooses to use a little bit of time, and like I mean like it's impressive. It's more impressive that Kung Fury can communicate this story in 30 minutes than a movie that takes like an hour and a half.
I agree there. It's very
Wow.
impressive.
That was more impressive than the Kung Fury fight.
I think I don't think I disagree with Sam on anything. I just think I have my own views on what a B
I think
movie is.
I think we just define things a little differently.
Yeah, I think a B movie. I have very specific criteria for what a B movie
which
is.
kind of kills our
Does it?
credibility on a rating scale.
I mean,
we have different definitions of what
I have a very
what they
specific
mean.
checklist, so I think my methodology is very methodical.
I think your methodology has bias.
You know,
what?
you're not wrong. It's a very political bias towards B movies.
You know, Nick, I think you might be a little biased with your own opinion. What are you doing?
Imagine that.
What are you doing over there?
Guys,
All right, let's do some trivia.
yeah,
I'm excited
we also
about
would
that.
love to hear what you think about what a B movie actually is.
Tell us what a B movie means to you. You're allowed to be wrong.
Yeah, true.
No, you won't. I will roast you.
It's
I will
okay. Wes
roast
doesn't
you.
use Twitter. You're safe.
No, I'll just roast you in my heart. All right. You guys ready for some Kung trivia?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we gonna split it up or are we gonna mix them up?
There'll be an order of how
Let's
we watch
do
it.
it.
Gotcha.
All right, I'm going to do my theme music.
No, that's not okay.
Ooh. Keeping that in there.
The Chinese national anthem, everybody. All right. Steve
that out.
Odekirk
That's
dubbed.
a
Oh,
pretty
don't edit that
yikes.
out. Don't edit that
Adam,
out. Don't
Adam.
edit that out. Just
Adam,
bleep me.
I'm just gonna pretend Adam is the one that edits everything.
Just
Adam, edit that out.
Sam, just add a bleep. Add a bleep. All right, we're gonna pause so Sam can
It's
edit.
like a 30-second bleep.
Okay. Steve Odekirk dubbed all characters except for one. A. Master Payne, also known as Betty. B. Jennifer Tongue, also known as the Woe Lady, or Woo 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 Lady. When I read this fact, they were the same person.
But they're
C. Master Doe, who is Master Tang.
Yeah.
Okay. Who is also the guy who eats the bugs. Or D. Wimp Low. So Master Payne, Woo 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 Lady, Master Doe, or Wimp
not. What was
Low.
the original question? I
Who
was not paying
Steve
Not
attention.
dubbed.
Steve Odekirk dubbed every single character in the movie except for one person.
What are my options again?
Oh my
Are
god.
you paying attention?
Master Payne, Jennifer Tongue, Master Doe, or Wimp Low.
I'm gonna guess everything was dubbed except for one person.
Except for one person. He dubbed them all. Someone else was dubbed separately.
Oh, it's the girl.
What do you think, Sam?
I think Master Doe.
The correct answer is Jennifer Tongue,
That's what I'm
which was
talking
originally
about.
written as the the Woe Lady, but the Jennifer Tongue or Lung was the Woo 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 Lady. Woo 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 wee, woo, woo, wee, woo, wee, woo, wee, 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 wee.
You guys
God,
did that
it's
so
so
much in high
annoying.
school.
And Ryan would always be like, pencil. You shall call me Betty. Oh, it's still not old. It's still not old. See, we can't hate on the movie too hard if we're still making the same
I hate it.
damn joke since 2003. All right, so that's a point for Nick because he reads the answers. Director, star, Steve
excuse me
Oedekerk
for doing research on the
wrote
movie.
/ produced
Thanks, Nick.
many works from our childhood. Which one of these titles did not have his creative influence? A. Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. B. SpongeBob. C. Ace Ventura. Or D. Dumb and Dumber.
Say the question again.
Oh my God. We guys need to pay attention. Director / star Steve Oedekerk produced or wrote many of these works from our childhood. Which one of these did not have his influence? Jimmy Neutron, SpongeBob, Ace Ventura, or Dumb and Dumber?
SpongeBob.
I'm going to guess Dumb and Dumber.
Nick, you bastard.
That was a complete guess.
I know, that was a good one, though. These were difficult. This was a difficult one. D. Dumb and Dumber.
That's what I'm talking about.
Dang it.
Did
I
not
knew he was a producer in Ace Ventura.
Well, I did not recognize his name, but I've seen his name on the title card for SpongeBob.
Well, here's how I guessed right. So in serial shows, like literally everyone who has a pulse is involved at some point in those shows.
Wait, and what are you talking
So like
about?
SpongeBob and Jimmy Neutron
Yeah,
are repeating shows. So like the odds of him being involved in those are pretty high. And so I knew he was a producer for Ace Ventura, so it's obviously Dumb and Dumber.
I don't follow that logic at all.
Okay, it's really sound logic. It worked.
Yeah.
Did you get it, Sam?
I think it makes
Did it make sense what he said?
Yeah. I mean, basically, so like the longer a show's going to be out, the higher chance that
I mean, look at
someone's
Rick
gonna
and
be
Morty
involved.
as an example. Anyone who's anyone is involved in Rick and Morty as a producer or a voice actor. Or
This guy he wrote these. He wrote all these.
he didn't write SpongeBob or Jimmy Neutron.
he was just involved in those.
Right.
Oh, you're right. Well,
But I could be wrong. I don't know.
You
I
wrote
wrote
the question.
I did write. I did, and I'm looking at the question now. I'm like, oh shit, I did write that, and I was like, oh no. Okay,
All right,
Nick,
next question.
your logic makes perfect sense.
Thank you.
I got just Dumb and Dumber there. Yeah.
Nice.
I did not know he worked on so much good stuff. Similarly, he also wrote a lot of weird Thumb movie parodies. Have you ever heard of Thumb Wars?
Yeah.
There's a few other ones. Thumb Tanic.
I went on a concerning deep dive on his YouTube channel that he has.
To watch this?
I didn't watch the Thumb War thing, but he is a weird dude.
I believe it.
Yeah, he reminds me of the guy that did the Timmy Turner, Fairly Odd Parents.
I don't know who that is, but
He just like has a very unique vision for what he wants, but he's also like kind of creepy on stuff
he's like
that
a
doesn't fit that
spooky
vision.
Nickelodeon. Like that's how I would categorize him.
Yeah, the Thumb
All right.
Wars stuff was weird.
What was your question?
I do remember those as a child. That was just a fun fact.
Oh.
All right, you guys remember the
10%.
Evil Council logo? The three triangles.
Oh yeah.
It is a real life symbol stolen from the UK, and it represents what? A. Vehicle testing / registration stations. B. Is a biochemical warning. C. Is the British Martial Arts Association symbol. Or D. Is an odorless valknut, which is a symbol co-opted by English white supremacists from Scandinavian / Viking folklore.
I'm going to go biochemical.
Well, the guys from Sweden. Oh, that's Kung Fury.
Right. It's just, if you look up odorless valknut, the symbol, you'll see what it is. But it is a symbol that is used by English white supremacists.
That's my guess. Is that one?
It's a good guess after what you said.
That is a good guess. And I'm also a genius for doing that, because if you look it up, it looks just like it. But that is not the answer.
Ooh.
And neither is the biochemical one, which also looks very similar. Guys, I am a genius. I'm finally getting a point. The correct answer is the vehicle testing / registration stations.
Is
Nice,
that
Wes.
is that a commentary on how much he hates vehicle registration testing stations?
No, it's just an ominous looking symbol. It's just three touching triangles.
He must have had a bad experience.
But the biochemical one does look kind of similar. And I tried to do other ones that made similar sense. But the odorless valknut is 3 overlapping triangles.
Gotcha.
All right, so that is a point for me. Sam, you really got to catch up.
Dude, I've been struggling the past 2 podcasts.
Well,
you should
we're
read
switching
up on your movies.
We're switching over to Kung Fury.
I'm reading
so
the wrong facts.
Yeah, you're doing too much work.
True.
All right.
Okay.
Kung Fury. What is Kung Fury's spirit animal? Is it A, a cyber tiger, B, a Chinese dragon with Ray-Bans and a headband, C, a cobra riding a jet ski, or D, an eagle dual-wielding handguns?
Is this actually in the movie?
This is in the movie.
I'm gonna let Sam answer first because I know the answer.
You bastard.
Can you say him again?
Yes. Kung Fury. Oh, my phone turned off, and then my thumbprint doesn't work anymore.
I hate it when that happens.
Does that happen to you?
My thumb or my finger gets sweaty and then it doesn't work.
Oh, I just have a nerve disease. So
First world problems, dude.
It's not. My thumb just doesn't look the same as it used to. I don't know if I can redo it. I know. It's so sad. All right. Kung Fury's spirit animal is A, a cyber tiger, B, a Chinese dragon with Ray-Bans and a headband, C, a cobra riding a jet ski, or D, an eagle dual-wielding handguns.
I'm going to go D.
That is such a good guess. But me saying that means it's not right. What is the right answer, Nick?
Remind me what the answers are.
Yeah, let me read it
What
again
was,
for
the,
the
what was the third
fourth.
one? What was the third one?
No, I'm reading them all again so you don't get a
Yeah.
freebie.
Yeah.
A cyber tiger, a Chinese dragon with Ray-Bans and a headband,
No.
a blood dragon, or an
No.
eagle dual-wielding handguns.
None of those are the answers.
All right. What about a cobra riding
It's
a
a
jet ski?
cobra riding a
You
jet ski.
asshole. It is in the animated dream sequence. Do you remember
Yeah,
that
it
when
is,
Kung
I
Fury
remember.
dies, when he gets shot by the minigun, and he's in the jet ski?
Don't remember that.
The cobra's riding the jet ski, and he's telling Kung Fury, "Hey, stop being dead," and he just stops. He comes back from the
Yeah.
dead.
Don't remember that.
Maybe you fell asleep during that, or you were texting Alex while he was doing whatever the f he was doing. All right, so Nick is crushing it. What's that, like 5 points, 4 points?
3
I think I
points.
have 3 points, yeah.
Oh wow! All right, the Laser Unicorn arcade game that goes on a rampage in the beginning of the movie is a digitally altered version of which popular arcade game? A, Donkey Kong, B, Centipede, C, Galaga, or D, Pac-Man? And they're playing this game on screen.
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong December, Donkey Kong December. Say I won't do it. Say I won't do it. Say I won't do it. I'm gonna do it every day.
I actually don't know this one. I'm gonna guess.
Think of Laser Unicorn. What game you think you could easily transpose a Laser Unicorn over?
That's a trick.
Donkey Kong, Centipede, Galaga, or Pac-Man?
I'm gonna guess. I'm trying to remember that scene, but I can't remember what it looks like. I'm just gonna guess Galaga.
Good guess. I love Galaga. It's one
It's
of
a
my
great.
favorite.
It's a great
It's
game.
one of my I played it on the Game Boy. It was a great game. The correct answer is Centipede, which is also a great game and very
There.
hard.
Very cool.
Yeah, there were a lot. Oh, I didn't. Did I write that in there? I had a little fun fact. There were a ton of arcade games represented or referenced in this movie. All of those were some of them, and then plus like 10 other ones. All right. Many lines from multiple characters. Oh, wait. That means I got a point. You guys are so dumb. Yes. That's 2 points for me. Let's go. Many lines from multiple characters are dubbed over in Kung Fury. Why is this the case? A, to pay homage to the tradition of dubbing classic kung fu films that were produced in foreign language. B, they couldn't afford a boom mic, and many scenes could not be afforded to reshot when the audio was inaudible in post. C, many actors were non-English or non-native speakers, and their heavy accents would have taken away from the American feel of the film. D, because it's funny as fuck.
D.
It's C.
The correct answer is C.
Dang it.
That was a good one, though, wasn't it?
That was a really good one.
Some of the actors just recited the English lines phonetically since they could not speak English. And some of this was left in, and some of it was redubbed as it was too jarring. Similarly, in Kung Pao, Steve Odenkirk wrote completely nonsensical lines for actors to recite and then dubbed in the actual plot-relevant dialogue in post. Lip reading leads to some funny lines, such as, "Isn't Betty a woman's name?" originally being, "Isn't Yahtzee a family game?" All right, so that ends the trivia. I think Nick wins.
Yeah, he slapped me.
It's all right, Sam. You're not a martial artist.
You aren't either, so.
Not everyone.
I am a martial artist.
Not everyone can
Nick
be
is the martial artist.
I'm very
Rainbow
insecure.
Yes.
I will fight you. I will fight you right now, Sam. How dare you question my honor? My dojo?
I'd like to
Alright.
see you two noodle boys fight each other.
Don't call me that, Nick. You know I'm very sensitive about my noodle-like arms.
I love
Right.
being a noodle.
You could throw me against the wall like a piece of cooked spaghetti, and I'd stick. All right, just some other fun facts here for you guys. Both Kung Pao and Kung Fury
We're
had
having
sequels
fun
in
here.
mind. Kung Pao having an over-the-top gag reel for the sequel included in the original film. This was originally just an homage to Mel Brooks' trends in his films. An actual sequel started pre-production in 2015, but Odenkirk had no idea what it would entail. Kung Fury 2 will have Arnold Schwarzenegger, Michael Fassbender, and Jorma from The Lonely Island, in addition to other actors. It will release in 2022.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's still alive?
I'm gonna press X.
What? When did he die, Sam?
He's like 85 years old.
I'm gonna
Is he
press
85?
X to
Like,
doubt.
he's in
that
his 70s for
movie
sure.
comes out.
In 2022? Yeah, maybe
Yeah, I
COVID will
doubt it.
stop it. I am stoked for that. I love the Lonely Island Boys. Did they have a new movie out yet? I haven't seen
They haven't, I mean,
since their weird baseball musical they did.
yeah, Andy Samberg's doing his own thing now. He's moved on.
He's a producer for I Think You Should Leave.
He's a producer for a lot of things.
Being a producer doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, true. Shots
All right.
fired.
Last fun fact. Odenkirk is actually a lifelong practitioner of martial arts, which explains why he's so jacked in that movie.
Yeah, I believe that because he's jacked.
And similarly, David Sandberg, the director and also star of Kung Fury, has autism.
David Sandberg was the star of Kung Fury.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the guy I was looking at?
You look at him now. He looks completely different.
That's the same dude.
That's the
I
same
don't
dude.
believe you.
Yeah, I know.
I don't believe that at
He
all.
has atypical autism.
I'm gonna have
He
to
doesn't have a
research
lot of
that.
lines, so
I don't know what atypical it would be, but
it's just you're just.
well, it's a
That's-
spectrum
He's
now.
really let himself go.
It's
He's
just
been
high-functioning,
stressed out by
basically.
COVID, man. I know. It looks like two completely different dudes. I looked that up. I was looking back and forth trying to see if it was true, but it said he is the director and stars in.
That's crazy. You know, he's working on a new movie called Blood Machine,
Oh, I did not know that.
or it may have come out. It's
Hmm.
on.
Maybe
Shudder.
you should write the trivia.
You're doing a great job.
On to our next segment.
No, I like the segments we do. And is it time for my favorite segment?
What is your favorite
Everything.
segment?
Awful everything.
The end of the podcast.
No, I like awful everything. I like to talk about awful things in my life.
Okay, are you ready? Because this one's pretty good.
Yes. I sent you a
release-
good one. I hope it's in here. If not, I will be talking about
Okay,
it.
you can talk about it.
My grandma died.
That's not. That doesn't count.
Don't cut that. It's awful.
Okay,
I'm sorry, Wes.
mood ring toilet
It's all right.
seats.
She's resting in peace.
Wait, what did you say it again?
Mood ring toilet seats.
That's dumb. Your butt's always going to be the same temperature.
But what if you come home and it's like got someone's ass print on it, and you live?
You don't
alone?
like that?
How
You don't like
scary would that
waiting
be?
for a stall and then like going in after a guy. It's all sweaty and warm.
Oh,
You like that?
gosh.
Yeah, he warms it up for you. When
Oh.
I sit on a cold butt toilet seat, like it makes me
I
pucker.
welcome
It
the
makes
cold-
me pucker up. It
I
makes
welcome
me
the
take
cold
longer.
Seat.
Dude,
I
I want-
welcome the cold seat.
I want the coldest of seats.
You guys
I
are
want-
you guys are probably one of those
I want the seat no one's used today.
anti-environmentalist people that like lay like sheets of toilet
I
paper
want to
on.
throw up when I use public restrooms. That's how I feel.
I just choose the private stall. That's all I do.
A lot of my awful
Private
everythings
stall?
are toilet based. If you don't,
I'll pick the handicap
I
stall.
like going Roman style.
you
Remember
pick
when
the
they
handicap
ripped?
stall?
Yeah.
Sam, that's
That
not
takes
legal.
Some balls.
That's not
dude.
legal, dude. How come it's illegal to take a handicap parking spot, but you can shit as long
Where's-
as you want
What
in a
law says
handicap
it's illegal
stall?
to take a handicap stall?
Dude, if someone
No, handicap parking spot.
if someone's like, I need to use this, I'll get out. I will clinch mid poop.
oh,
Like,
I'm gonna
sure,
do that.
I'm mid shit, but yeah, I'll get up and move.
Next time if someone's in the handicap stall, I'm gonna be like, "You better get out of there. I'm disabled and I need to shit."
You can't do that. That's not funny.
I can do that. I have a handicapped brother.
But you know what's you do.
Maybe he needs the shit. I'll just say that instead.
Yeah.
Then
Fight for
it's
him.
less offensive of a lie.
So I spent a disturbing amount of time researching NFTs today. If you don't know what a non-fungible token is, it is the biggest shit scam I have
It's not
ever.
a shit
It's not a
scam.
shit scam.
It's a scam.
It's not a shit
It's
scam.
the future.
It is the future.
It is an absolute scam. If you buy NFTs, you're an idiot.
No, there's
A fool
tons.
is someone who parts away from their money easily.
All right,
and
the
someone
Bible.
who-
I definitely
Yeah.
think you need to be choosy about your NFTs, but I definitely don't.
I
think.
downloaded an NFT that sold for $3,600
You
for
did?
free today.
Did
you did?
Yeah, I posted it on the Discord.
Did you
It-
sell it for
it's
$3,600?
No, but I
Well,
downloaded
you can't
it
sell it for
for
30.
free.
Yeah.
But you can't sell it for
I
3,600.
could sell it if I wanted to.
No, you couldn't.
You
You would
couldn't.
be be sued for that.
Let him.
They will. They will. That's the whole point of buying it.
But the
is they're
point-
hoping to sue people.
Yeah, so I downloaded it for free. I can enjoy it and share it and won't get in trouble.
But you won't. You don't own it.
I don't care. The people who buy NFTs don't own NFTs. If you read about it, it's a complete scam. The artists who
don't-
make it still have the copyright to it. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you buy a freaking Pokemon card that moves and not ever sell it? It's just crazy.
That's what non-fungible merchandise is. Not
Okay.
NFTs are
Well,
not
here- well-
not the new. They're not
Okay,
anything new.
You guys are crazy. Crypto is the devil.
No,
and-
there it is. He's a fundy. Everybody.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Give me the mark of the beast.
The real terrible, awful everything was if you haven't seen Stan Lee's rest in peace Twitter.
Yeah,
recently,
yeah. I did see that.
They posted Chakra, the Invincible, who is the first Indian,
Woo.
first Indian superhero.
Representation.
They tried to market a new superhero in an NFT on a dead man's Twitter. And that is pretty awful. And
Yeah, Stanley
I-
would have been
Yeah.
I
livid.
hate everything about that. And that's why I researched NFTs. And
That happens a lot with Dead Man's Twitter. Herman Cain still
Huh.
does not believe in COVID, but he died from it.
NFTs are the worst. Here's another thing that's awful. Free samples of things that you shouldn't sample in public, like Vaseline. Would you ever take a free sample of Vaseline?
No, because someone else has used the
That'd be a
same.
good way to get a fungus, dude.
Yeah.
What are some other things like that you shouldn't have a sample of? Like if you're strolling through the aisles.
Condoms.
Well, yeah.
Cool Whip.
Low hanging fruit. Cool Whip. Yeah. Anything sticky, right?
Oh, you mean like to consume?
Or use.
I thought, man,
Condom's a good
I
example.
feel like,
dude,
like,
the condoms they gave us at college were awful,
they wanted you to have a.
so you were using
Pregnant.
that.
and I wasn't
Yeah.
even having sex.
You just knew.
I just you can use condoms for other things, guys.
Oh, gosh.
All right.
Oh, man.
Add that to the list.
I'm a virgin.
Okay. Moving on. That one was as good.
That one was a great one.
Aged urine angels. Have you ever heard of this?
Oh.
I don't know. Oh, hold on. Okay,
So-
I don't know if I want to hear about this one. To be honest,
I'm opening the curtain. a
no,
little bit.
no.
I'm
I
opening
might
the curtain
throw
a
up.
So,
little
like,
bit.
I might gag. I'm
Are
thinking
people
about it already.
accumulating their urine?
No, okay.
Like, I want to know, like, the logistics behind this. Like, Wes is walking out right now.
This is exactly why I like this segment. I let you think.
I can't walk out on the job.
This is what episode 12.
I might gag.
I let everyone think that this is going to be one of those things where you can just like be okay. No, this is going to be a bumpy ride from now on. Yeah. So, aged urine angels. There's a really large group of people that believe that aged urine is like a cure-all for many different ailments,
gosh.
Jankum.
including like gray hair and like
no.
bags under your eyes or like
Ooh.
cancer. And you know what's the
It
most
does hydrate
valuable?
you
know what's the
a
most
little bit.
valuable aged urine? Children's urine.
Dude,
So
I have a really strong
that
gag
is-
reflex.
that is
you gotta
a-
stop.
F tier of awful.
So I don't recommend you researching that. It's a bad place. Last thing I have on the list is
Last
a little bit more
podcast
palatable.
on the left.
Have you heard from Dash or heard of Dash for Cash?
No, I have not.
A hockey rink. I don't remember where it is, but they did a little event where South Dakota. They did a little event at a hockey rink in South Dakota called Dash for Cash, where teachers,
I did hear about this.
teachers got like a minute to scramble for money so that they could use it for school supplies.
What? Oh gosh.
which is
They need that money
That's
for
the
them.
best part of capitalism, where workers have to fund their own work.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you're going to go work for,
It's like a MLM.
sure.
It's like multi-level marketing, like
Yeah.
Cutco, vector marketing.
Well, it's more
You
like,
get the workers to fund themselves. It's just free. It's just free everything for you.
Yeah, it's more like missionary kids being like, I need money to go work like
To have fun.
in Miami.
You guys had fun on your mission trips?
Yeah.
I got cholera on mine.
You went to Haiti. That's why.
Wow. It sucks to be you, Haiti.
Anyways,
Sam doesn't think you're fun.
it's a pretty big eye-opening tragedy that teachers have to attend Dash for Cash events just to get money for their
Yeah.
But also the
classrooms.
nature of the competition is demeaning.
Yeah, it's like
Running around on ice,
there's like
making
a term.
fools of
There's
yourselves.
a term for that. I don't remember. what it-
Dehumanizing?
Yeah.
Demeaning?
No, I mean it's like
Mockery?
yeah, something like that. But it's pretty
Yeah.
depressing.
Dating a school teacher has realized that
Oh, yeah.
administration is like not conducive to. There's a lot of stuff like that, like where it's like, I mean, Katie can talk about it. It's like just like they'll give them like school supplies and some funny joke. It's like, thanks.
I'll be honest. I worked on the other side. I worked in school administration, and it was fantastic. I made more money than the teachers, and I did nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rich get richer.
Mm-hmm. I was also, never mind. I'm not going to go into my demographic situation.
All right. What was your awful everything?
I can't believe you didn't add this. I put it in the Discord. I saw it and immediately thought of this segment.
I do remember it being pretty good.
So I follow a subreddit called We Want Plates. And it is all about people getting served food on things that are not plates, especially at trendy restaurants. So some popular items are shovel heads, hubcaps, anything that is trendy. A big trend right now is to shove food into mason jars, like a la treacle or whatever. What's the thing? What's the?
I have no idea what
No,
you're talking about.
treacle's British for molasses. I don't know. Anyway, one of the things that someone was served on the We Want Plates subreddit is, have you seen this, Sam?
I did see it, but I forgot it.
All right, well, come take a look. It is a ceramic or
Oh,
porcelain mouth of the cast of the chef at a Michelin-starred restaurant in Italy, and leaking out of this foam disembodied porcelain mouth is just citrus foam. And this came from an article, we ate at the worst Michelin-starred restaurant, ever. And this person and his friends were served a 27-course meal at this restaurant. And one of the courses was citrus foam served in this porcelain mouth made from the chef's mouth. Absent utensils, we were told to lick it out of the chef's mouth in a scene that I'm pretty sure was stolen from an Eastern European horror film. There were many other courses served like that. Another thing they were served was rancid ricotta. Not fermented, not aged, rancid, which means rotten. And they had a 27-course meal over 3 or 4 hours, cost them like 250 euros a pop, and they left hungry.
Yikes.
It's pretty gross.
That's what you get for...
That's one geek.
Imagine a mouth with foam coming out of it, and that's what I
yeah,
just
if
saw.
if we post it to Twitter, you'll get the idea. But it's been circulating the internet. But yeah, I am very passionate about food and very critical of art. And the chef came and defended himself and said, "You can't criticize me. This is art."
That
and
is true.
Some
you
art
can't.
is
You
bad.
you can absolutely criticize.
Some
art.
art is bad.
You absolutely can criticize
like
art.
NFTs.
Well, I mean,
I'm gonna get an NFT of this foam citrus mouth.
Go ahead, spend $4,000 on an
It's-
NFT. You go right ahead. That no one's gonna ever buy from you.
But I thought it was an interesting discussion. I mean, would you guys pay $250 to lick foam from someone's mouth?
nope.
No.
Okay. Would you do it if it was art?
Nope.
If someone calls it art
Nope.
Does it defend itself from criticism?
Here's how
If it was good, if it was like delicious, like they would have to convince me that this is the best dish you'll ever have. Like, but like just from like an art standpoint, yeah, like no.
So here's my thing with food. I do believe that to a certain degree, food is art, but I think when you have people like this guy who says the art is more important than the food, that's when I'm like, I'm good. Like, I'd rather just eat good food. And this guy's like obviously got them backwards.
Yeah, check out if you haven't. You're listening to this now. Check it out if you haven't seen the picture. Also, try and check out the chef's response because he has a very egotistical and convoluted idea of what he's doing.
Well, I mean, pride's the ultimate sin, right? Like,
and it's also very common for chefs. But he has a picture of like a normal person on a horse, and then he has a picture of like a Renaissance painting of a guy on the horse. He's like, these are both art, and they're both shit to me. It's like you shouldn't be able to enjoy it, and it's like, and you also can't criticize art. And he's like, that's what I do here.
That's what he just did.
I know, but he's like, that's what I do here at my restaurant. But he's not saying like they're inherently shit. He just thinks they're boring, which is why he's like, food is art. So he basically dumps on every normal kind of
boring?
food.
Bad food.
True.
But what is bad, Nick?
You know what's bad food?
We need a
rotten ricotta.
We need a Delta 8 gummy. What's bad, Nick? Oh.
All right.
Then I'll be eating some rotten
awful.
ricotta.
Everything about it.
Yes. Everything
those
that
are
was
good.
mentioned was very
Those are
awful.
good, Nick. They were very hard hitting, and I was sad that I knew what most of them were, except for the Piss Angels, which I'm very glad I don't know what they are.
Yeah, well,
I'm still curious about the logistics behind
No, I've seen too many pee jars.
It's a pretty large
to
movement.
think about pee
I'm
again.
sure you will come across it at some point in your internet.
It's a large movement. Seriously,
I've seen it
Scientology
a
thing probably
few times on Reddit, like a few, at least. Like today wasn't the first time I knew that post was out there. I found it.
You guys ever wonder like what's wrong with people, and then you realize like there's stuff that's so wrong with me, but I just don't realize it because I'm biased against myself. Like, what are the things about yourself that would show up on awful everything?
100%.
Like what would I know? I couldn't even recognize them.
That's for another podcast.
This is what keeps me up at night. Not all the nitro milk stouts. This is it.
That's not what should keep you up at night. The goblins under your bed should
goblins are real.
Or should, yes.
Just like dinosaurs.
All right, boys.
Dinosaurs are not real.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
Where are we at?
I don't want it to end. I had a lot of fun on this one.
I did have a lot of fun as well. But sadly, it must end. All good things must end.
All things come to be loved and
I
lost.
want to give a quick shout out to our friend Alex. He's just a wonderful dude. And
he is. We love him very much.
We give him a hard time because we just really enjoy him as a person. And thanks, Alex, for listening to the podcast. We appreciate you.
And we appreciate all our listeners, but particularly the ones that engage with us. So please engage with us, and maybe you'll get a shout out.
Fuck all you guys that didn't reply on the Discord.
An apology. I will apologize to you for that if you engage and also give us money.
No.
We take sponsorships and
I
cash.
take a lot of favors.
Under the table.
Oh, Sam. I will do it over or under the table.
Also, another huge shout out to Adam, who did our intro and outro music. It's been too long since we've recognized him. It's just really, really great to have like iconic intro and outro music.
And we only pay him like 20% of royalty fees.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah, 20% of zero is just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be never mind.
Yeah.
Dude, we probably get some
Cut that
Hell.
out.
We can get some HelloFresh sponsors in here.
Dude, for real.
Timmy's Hot Chicken, if you ever want to sponsor us.
Ooh, baby.
Chai Panini, if you ever want to sponsor us. I'm here for you, bro.
Beer companies.
Yeah.
Free beers.
Wicked Weed. You know I love you, even though these guys don't. Yeah.
It depends on the Wicked Weed. Pernicious is a
I like
great
weed.
beer.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Find
wicked.
us a Delta 8 sponsor.
I like weed.
All right. We're dragging on. I am Nick Zamboni.
I'm Sam Collins.
I'm Betty.
And this has been the BBB podcast.
Beer Bing Bong podcast.
Bing Bong.
Bing bong.
Fuck your life.
Fuck your life.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.